But Chestnut Tree House, from corporate businesses and local businesses sector, we raise nearly £900,000 a year, and that's why it's so important to us to keep these relationships going and to help them meet their CSR requirements and to volunteer and want to help us. So we put on here like what it achieves. So it could achieve new relationships, it will help meet CSR requirements, team building within the business. We find that's always a really big thing, especially if you're going out to the bigger companies. So for example, a company called Electa down where we are, a massive building, humongous. Those different departments in that business, they might not even see each other every day, let alone speak to each other every day. So for those guys, it's a really good opportunity for cross-team working and team building across the whole company. It's got that feel-good factor as well, and obviously then it can then lead on to being chosen as Charity of the Year or a charity partner for the foreseeable future. So when it comes to corporate volunteering, sometimes we haven't even been in communication with these people ever before until they get in touch with us or until we meet with them one time at networking and start talking about volunteering. And then that's ultimately what leads it on. So as soon as you've got them in a little bit just for volunteering, that's when it's all going to start building and then ultimately lead to something like £900,000 coming in just through businesses. So every business is going to have a CSR policy in place, and it's about them being responsible, sustainable, economical, and it's a company's sense of responsibility towards the community and environment in which it operates. So volunteering gives them that opportunity for the teamwork, the team building, like what I've said. It's about being able to cross-team work and meet new people as well. But ultimately, what we need to offer them is to feel good. We want them to come away feeling good about what they've done. So if it's your first time engaging with a company, you can then work on that relationship. If it's your first time meeting them, you need to be able to tell them what they can do and make it sound exciting for them. Get them excited. Take it from other people that have done it, which we'll move on to a little bit later. But volunteering ultimately is important to us because it's the start of a much bigger picture, humongous. So getting that programme right, it is really important. I mean, in 2019, we had a corporate business come and volunteer for us for the first time ever. We had no prior engagement, no reason really to be in touch, and they actually ended up being a headline sponsor at my golf day last September just from coming in and volunteering with us. And that was a £3,000 package that they signed up for. So from having nothing to just doing one opportunity of volunteering and building that relationship, spending time with them, getting to know them. I mean, Aaron spoke about some really cool things in his speech just now. And Bella, you mentioned something as well about, you know, you don't necessarily always like that person, but you want them to like you. So be yourselves and really get to know these people and spend time with them, because ultimately, if they don't like you, they're not necessarily going to chip into the charity and want to come back. So that's really important to us.
So at Chestnut Tree House, we have a variety of ways that our corporates can get involved with volunteering. So it's a good idea to kind of take back and look at what you can offer the volunteers, whether they can volunteer at your hospice, you might have a retail distribution centre, or you might be able to get them to volunteer at events as well. Like Amber mentioned, golf days. We have a lot of corporates that like to get involved with helping out at golf days. So it's just kind of really sort of brainstorming different and fun ways that the corporates can get involved, so as Amber mentioned, to give them that feel-good factor. So at Chestnut Tree House we have a majority of good different ways that the corporates can get involved. So we have our retail distribution centre, so I imagine a lot of you would have charity shops. So we offer our corporates a Bag It and Give scheme, so it's a really nice way when you're building that relationship that you're not going out just asking for money for that initial meet that you might have. So we give our corporates charity bags. They again can dish them out to all the employees. We can go and collect them for them, give them a bit of PR, and then they can spend some time at our retail distribution sorting through those goods that they've donated before they get sent out to our retail shop. So it's a good kind of little journey as well, and gives them a bit of insight into what we're about and how that they are really helping us through different aspects of the charity. We also have our fantastic gardens at Chestnut Tree House, so I imagine a lot of you will have gardens as well. So we hold 2 corporate volunteering days a week. lifeguarding duties. So we will meet them, we'll give them a tour of the hospice so they can really engage with how they're going to be helping on the day. Then we'll go down in the afternoon, have some tea and cake with them as well. And again, it's kind of being with them throughout that journey of volunteering. And then we take a photo. We make a thank you card as well with that photo that we've taken, which we send out to them. We also do some PR on social media as well, so it's kind of really engaging in many different aspects that we can. We also have, we organise our own events and third-party events as well. So, for example, we hold a 10K every year. So we try and get our corporates to maybe man a water station. They can maybe have their branding, PR on that water station. Again, we can do some PR about it on the day. And it's just kind of offering them different ways that they can come and engage and support us through volunteering. It may be as well that we're a charity for an event such as Airboard down in Eastbourne. So again, we would get volunteers to come and have bucket collections and things like that, but they're to get free entry into different events that we might be present at. So for example, Lilly, we recently were there doing bucket collection, and they got the opportunity to volunteer for a little bit, but then have free entry into the event that was taking place. So again, it's kind of finding those different unique ways that they can get involved.
I think it's also worth noting our gardening days. Alison said we hold them twice weekly throughout the year. We hold them from March up until November. This year's been pretty good since just after Christmas. So they're that popular. People are coming back time and time again. Some people are taking more than one day a year. And the maximum we can take on one day is 15 people, and the majority of our corporates have been in those days. And the waiting list is already in place, ready for this year, waiting for those cancellations. Because people just really enjoy them. They don't even care if it's raining. They're out there because they know that it's doing something. Gardens are such an important part of a hospice. People like to go out in the gardens, and I think with us as well, being a children's hospice, the kids are always out there, come rain or shine, and I think those people know when they're volunteering, not only are they, making a difference, they're actually saving us money. It's always important to relate it back to that. So they might not be giving you the money, but they're saving you the money. So I think last year, or 2018, we saved around £30,000 having these people come in and do the gardens. If you can put a financial value against what they're doing, that's something our corporates really like. I think ultimately, if we're stroking their egos a little bit and letting them know what they're doing, then it really does make a difference to those guys. Something else we were asked to speak about today is how we go about recruiting these volunteers. I mentioned that we might not necessarily have even met these guys before, and volunteering might be the first kind of engagement we have with them. So get them into your hospice. If you can do a tour, do a tour. I'm sure a lot of people may already do tours of the hospice, let them have a look around. Obviously it's down to circumstance, but get them in. If they can see the hospice, then they can feel more of a connection. They can understand what they're doing it for and the reasons behind. It means they can go back to their office and share that experience with their colleagues to try and help promote it with them, get that fire burning in their tummies as well. If they want a meeting, don't go to them, have them come to you. Have a bit of tea, take them the opportunity to show them around or sit in the gardens. Let them be in the heart of the house. I mean, the hospice, I call it the house because it's the house. We're so keen, obviously, to go out to these corporate businesses and get our foot through the door. It's easier for you to go to them, but if you've always got that opportunity to get them through the door, then definitely take it and run with it. Networking, I think I spend a lot of time going out and about, meeting a lot of new people. And I always think it's really important to not talk about facts and figures when you're standing there networking. Ask them questions about themselves, what maybe they're looking for, and sometimes the way in. Being a hospice, you've got a massive database. Being a corporate fundraiser, you've got huge contacts out there that you can utilise. There might be someone that says, I'm looking for a new website design for my website. Actually I know someone that could do that. I'll do an email introduction. You've helped them, and then they might think later on down the line, I've got this bag of stuff that I need to get rid of, clothes, nothing wrong with them. That Amber, I met her at networking, she got me a contact for this. I'll give the bag to their charity. And it starts to go like that. So try not to talk facts, figures and numbers and how much it costs to fundraise, because I always think that as soon as someone has made eye contact with a fundraiser at networking, they always regret doing so, because we're always going to ask for something. So try and talk about them and how you can help them. People can always give you time. So they might not be able to give you that financial donation, but they can certainly give you their time. And people are more than willing to give you their time. And I think when you can do something like that, that's really important. The other way we recruit them is social media. So social media is massive for all sorts, and I think it's really key as corporate fundraisers. We should be extremely active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn for me, I've been at Chestnut now almost 2 years, and LinkedIn has been a place where I've got a lot of new connections, a lot of people wanting to come in volunteering, because I like the way LinkedIn works. As soon as someone in your contact list likes something, it'll appear on their feed so that their contacts can see it. So then someone from their contacts might like it, it'll appear on their feed. Tag them in things. As Alison said about taking that group photo, get a photo of them in the morning, get them a photo at the end of the day. Put it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can, and tag that company in it and tell everyone what that company is doing. People love it. They want their face and name all over social media, but another way of doing it is that's a perfect way to recruit. You've got people on there already who want to volunteer for you, so if you've got an event you need help at, stick it on there. People will come forward. So I've often got times where I need bucket collections at a football game. No one ever really wants to go, so that's great, I'll stick it on LinkedIn, that's fine. A couple of the lads from Elector, I'll use them again. They might want to come down because we're then giving them free entry into the football game. So it all goes back to what benefits them. But social media is a great platform, and if you're not heavy on LinkedIn already, I would really recommend getting stuck in and going with it. It's an extremely useful tool for us.
So we have several corporate supporters who come to the house regularly. They come year after year, and they've approached us a few times wanting to make a film, which again, as Anne said, they're shared on LinkedIn. So again, those that follow that company will then see the video, see what one of these Chestnut Tree House is, and then they'll get in touch with us as well. So it's about sharing that network, and if they can do something for us, then we can give something back to them as well. So we've brought along today some examples of how different people have made some films about their volunteering time at Chestnut Tree House, and we'd like to share them with you.
We go on to the next video, just a little bit about those guys. So Airwave are a company that I believe originally got in touch with us just through volunteering and wanted to get stuck in. They volunteer for us now every year in the gardens, but what they also do every year is a walk that they organise themselves. So they've done the 3 Peaks, they've done the South Coast Challenge, and I think this year they're doing the Jurassic Coast, and each time they've done that, they've now raised enough to do what we call pay for a day. So one of the things we offer when corporates sign on with us is everyone's got that list of financial values and what their money goes towards, and something that we have is paying for a day of care. So paying for a day at Chestnut Tree House is £6,850. and they're planning Jurassic Coast this year. The first year they did the trek, they raised just over £7,500, so they paid for a day. And then last year when they did their last trek, I think they were just shy of the 6,850. So when you collaborate the two together, they paid for two days of care for us. And it all started out just by coming into our gardens, having a little hospice, getting stuck in, having fun. I think it was the cake that did it. You all saw the cake. The cake probably would have had a big sway on them. But that's ultimately what can come of that relationship. So they posted that video on their YouTube page, and then they shared it on their social media as well. So not only are they like promoting how good they are as a company, you know, meeting CSR needs, getting out there and stuck in the community and helping us, it's given us free PR as well. We didn't ask them to do that video, that's something they decided to do, we said it was fine. And that then, when that goes on social, that's how people then start getting in touch with us. So I know that in the programme it says how things have snowballed. And I think it's a clever use of words to put it together, because our biggest fundraising event of the year is our Snowman Spectacular Ball down in Brighton. It's a massive event in lots of people's diaries down on the South Coast, and we often have around 500, 550 people attend this every year. So these guys come along to the snowball, or they'll put things into it for the auction, or they'll help us volunteer at that event. So when these guys come and volunteer at the Snowman Ball, they then put a video out on social media, or some pictures of the night, how it went. Someone doing that, me sharing it, someone liked it and got in touch. We've never ever spoken to them before. They got in touch with us because they wanted to, you know, have a bit of an in on this Snowman Ball, and they wanted to be a headline sponsor, having never spoken to us before. And that's just the power of social media. So, and it's all from volunteering. That's what I can't get my head around sometimes, is that they volunteered at the Snowman's Ball, they've shared it on social, someone's liked it and said, hi, actually, I'm from so-and-so, I think I'd like to be a headline sponsor at that event, which is sensational. But just a bit of background on the Snowman Ball and what that means to us. For the last 2 years, not last year we raised on the night 404,000, but 2 years on the trot before that it was just over £500,000 in one night. Because of the people that are in the room, that's our corporate sponsors, that's your major donors. It's huge, and I think that is then the player horizon in the programme, that things have snowballed into what it has. So we've got a couple more videos.
This love is groovy, baby, you're the one. You're like sunshine on a winter day. You're like sunshine, blow the clouds away. You're sweeter than sugar cane. You got the whole world in your hands.
So Harris Lauder are a recruitment company in an area that I cover here practically, and I've been working with them now for the last year. They've never given financially, but they've volunteered for me all the time, and that, I'm sure, as you know, is invaluable when you have those dropouts at a last minute event. You think, who am I going to ask? These are who I ask, because they want to help. They'll come down and cover the wet football games that no one wants to cover. They'll come and do the gardens where we've got space. They'll come and wrap presents for us for the Snowman Ball. So that's another big thing. Part of that event is the giving grottos. So our corporate companies, again, we asked for a donation of around 600 prizes just for the giving grottos. And they all need wrapping. It's like an expensive lucky dip. You pay £10, you pick a box, you unwrap it, you could open it up and it be a teddy bear, or you could open it up and it could be dinner for two at a really posh restaurant kind of thing. All these kinds of things, they need wrapping. I call these guys will come and help us. They've already signed up to wrap presents for us this year. They just want to help wherever they can. So I know that relationship isn't going to be a financial one. I know it isn't. But it doesn't stop me working with them. I will always speak to them during the week. I always catch up with them on social, because I want to keep that relationship, because I know that volunteering to them is important, but it's just invaluable to us as well, because you always need those extra hands, and they always do these videos. So they will send it out on social, they tag us in it, so they did do another one of them wrapping presents, and I think that's the next one. So those guys are just invaluable to us. That's something that we really appreciate. That's all really goes. Hints and tips to get you going, things that you can start working on to develop your corporate volunteering programme. And just to cover off some of the things that both Alison and I have said, networking. When you're out and about, don't talk to them about facts and figures and numbers. Talk to them about how you can help. Try and see if there's a way in for you to do an email introduction to someone they might need help with. Use LinkedIn as much as possible. I can't stress it enough. LinkedIn is such a fantastic tool at your fingertips to be able to use. There's so many people on there. As soon as you've been networking, you've got their business cards. I'm sure we will do it. We'll touch base afterwards. Add every single one of them on LinkedIn. Send them a little message saying, it's great to meet you. If there's anything ever I can help you with, then please let me know. They're going to start seeing your feed, and they're going to start seeing all the different things you offer, whether that be your own networking events, whether it be your golf days or something you need help with volunteering. Get it on LinkedIn, because that's where people are going to see it. Get the corporates to use their social platforms like these guys have. So they've done their videos, they've sent it out on their socials for everyone to see. Get them to use Twitter when they're at the house, at your hospice, sorry. Get them to use Facebook. Let them tell everyone where they are and that they're with you. So their social platforms are going to start getting you new contacts on LinkedIn, and again, spiraling from there. Utilising free ad space to talk about CSR success stories. I know everyone in here is from so many different areas. You'll find that some networking groups maybe have like magazines that they send out to all their members that are like free. A lot of their space in there is free as well, if it's a CSR success story. So if you've had someone that has come and helped, put a little story in there. If it's free, use it, because then it's going out to all these other places where people can see, oh actually, that looks quite good. I wonder if we want to do something like that. So use that free ad space. Alison mentioned about the thank you cards that we send. So we will take a picture of the group when they're out volunteering in the garden. We always leave it to the end of the day. We don't do it at the start when they're looking glamorous. We leave it right to the end when they're really grubby and sweaty. Stick it on a card, go straight to your desk, handwrite it, say thank you to what they've done, make it specific and put it in the post that day. They're going to get that hopefully the next day, if not the day after, and they love things like that. If you didn't get a photo, because sometimes things get rained off and we haven't made it down in time, use some artwork from the house. You might have from the hospice, sorry. When you might have your day patients, they might do artwork or do some photography. Use some of that. If they're happy for you to use it, we do. We've got children's artwork that we use on thank you cards. If there's children in and they want to paint something, they'll paint us something to be able to then send out. That gives it that nice touch as well. But always make sure. We've recently changed the personalised thank you cards and handwritten because we felt it was more personal than that standard letter going out every single time saying thank you with the same blurb. It costs this, it does that. Personalise it, make it personal to them. I've said it all the way through this. Give your skills attention on the Facebook page, tag them and share it. Spend time with them. Something that some of us have started doing recently as well is, I mentioned about corporates like saving you money. If you can work out of their office for the day, in between meetings, do it. We're spread geographically, so if Alison was over in South East Hampshire or had loads of meetings that day in that area, there might be someone there, like Nature's Way, for example. Do you mind if I use the desk for the day? Yeah, of course. That's saving us petrol, that's saving us time. So if there's time that you can spend with them, do it. And that's something that's really worked for us. There's a lot of offices now in the Crawley area that I look after. I'll go and work in their office for the day. It means they get to know you on a personal level, you can have a bit of fun and get some work done as well. Make sure you offer something with a benefit to them. So gardening for us, definitely has that feel-good factor. They come away feeling pumped, they're ready to do it again, they want to do the next thing. Wrapping the Christmas presents, I don't really know what the benefit is to them for that, they just really like it. If there's an event going on, Alison mentioned Airborne, that's free entry for them into a massive day out. Sell it that way. We do a dressage event at Hicksted every year. If people want to come along because they like horses, do it. That's your time to do it. It's a free day out for them. Host a thank you event. Alison, I don't know if you want to talk a bit more about the thank you event. Did you lead on it? But we do host a thank you event every year for our volunteers and corporates.
So we wanted to find a really nice way to kind of just say thank you to those that support us. So every year we have a marquee at the house for our memorial services, but while it's there we're able to use it for hosting events as well. So we went out to our database and kind of picked out those that are doing stuff that don't really shout about it too much, and we really just wanted to say thank you. So they came along to have a bit of afternoon tea at the house, talk from a parent speaker about how much their kind of volunteering time and how much their support actually means to us as well. And they went away with a little box of chocolates that we got donated by a supporter as well. So it's just, again, giving them that feel factor that, you know, we do appreciate what they do, no matter how big or small. You know, like Anne said, not all corporates will give money, they will give their time to volunteering, so which is just as important because obviously it saves us money as well. So it is all about that donor journey, whether it's through volunteering, donating, any sort of time that they can give to you, and just making sure that donor journey is as powerful and successful as possible.
The last thing on the list is just have them put together a bit of testimonial about what their help has meant to them. Use it in your newsletters. Use it literally wherever you can. If you've got someone singing your praises about saying how amazing your hospice is and the work that you're doing, if they're happy for you to use it, use it. I'm conscious that we're now running out of time, but that was it.
Thank you very much.